For the last 2 years, we have been working on this subject called debate, in which the students have learned to write, give, and defend their ideas through their speeches. Third, fourth, and fifth will be showing you how they have improved in the process of debate. Thank you for sharing this with us.
Hello everyone. Today, these two groups are going to debate if zoos are beneficial for animals in any way. First, Hochi, the first speaker of the government, is going to talk.
Good afternoon, people. I'm the first speaker of the government. The second speaker is going to tell you some facts, and the third one will leave you without doubts that zoos are beneficial for animals in any way. Imagine a world without zoos. It is impossible, right? We would get crazy. Today, we are going to convince you that zoos are beneficial for animals in any way. There are 4 key words that I would like to say. Are, zoos, beneficial, and animals. According to the dictionary, the word are is a linking verb. The word zoos is the place where animals are kept. The word beneficial is a having a good effect, and the word animals, something that moves and lives but is not a human. Do you think that zoos are beneficial for animals? In my opinion, they are. I'm going to tell you why they are. Zoos protect animals from outside world threats, like hunters, but also they may reproduce them in a good way and in a safe environment. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Now, Kata, the first speaker of the opposition, is going to talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to talk about, are zoos good for animals in any way? Zoo is equal to less freedom. Good is equal to adequate. So this is a real question. Is less freedom adequate for animals? My team and I are against this idea of putting animals in cages just for humans to have some fun. Animals deserve to live a free life, learn to hunt their food, reproduce, and die without the need of humans to intervene completely in their existence. The second speaker, Tere, will talk about important facts and convince you that zoos are good for animals, while the third speaker, Rochi, who we will replace in the Firenza, will summarize the idea of the set of the Tere and will give support to what we're going to talk about. To summarize my idea, do you still think that zoos are good for animals in any way? My team and I will persuade you through facts and examples that shows that less freedom is not adequate for animals. Thanks.
Thank you, Kata. Now, Carmela, the second speaker of the government, is going to talk. Hello, everyone. In the discussion about if zoos should be banned or not is a debate that remains open in many countries of the world. While some are criticising closures of big places where animals are mistreated, others defend them, like us, highlighting their function as a rescue center. As an example, the Ewing Zoo was opened by Bob Allen in 1970 under the name of Reptile and Fauna Park, and his zoo team helped his parents to take care about the crocodiles and their species and keep a high number of animals at the park with the goal of keeping the species safe. I think that the life of the animals in the wild is not a parasite either. For example, they might fight for survival, withstand droughts, floods, etc. Here I bring you some reasons where zoos are good and not as bad as they say. Recreation, research, conservation of endangered species, rescue abused animals, cleaning, etc. And finally, I think that zoos are rescue and genetic change centers to ensure the permanence of endangered species and those who are not. Thank you. Thank you, Carmela. Now, Tere, the second speaker of the opposition, is going to talk.
Firstly, the argument for zoos is often that they serve to educate the public, they give people who can't afford to travel a chance to see other animals, and also that they serve as important conservation centers. There is a distinction, of course, between good zoos and bad zoos, which are the most abundant ones. In case you didn't know, humans have been capturing and displaying exotic animals for thousands of years. The earliest collections date back to the year 3500 BCE in Egypt. Imagine all of the good, but also bad things that would have happened back then without today's knowledge. If zoos do what they claim to do, which is saving endangered animals from the wild, sometimes it turns out that those animals didn't have the opportunity to develop in their natural habitat and didn't have the opportunity as well to develop their survival behaviors. For example, Large carnivores like lions and tigers that are bred from a really young age in captivity die when they are released into the wild. Another thing that zoos are inevitably doing is disrupting the animal's life cycle. We all know that every living creature, whether it be human or animal, is first born, it develops in its natural habitat, it grows, and it eventually dies. What zoos are somehow doing is trying to make this life cycle last longer by putting animals more time in exhibition. But actually by doing so, they are reducing their lifespan by putting them in conditions that are really, really far away from their nature. For example, prohibiting them from hunting, living in a herd, etc. Lastly, not all zoos have the resources to look after all of the animals that live there. That captivity for animals can be really bad for both their physical but also psychological health. No amount of research or education justifies keeping animals captive. Thank you.
Thank you, Tere. Now, Anita, the last speaker of the government, is going to talk.
In addition to entertainment, zoos educate human beings in the values of respect and protection of nature, which is not only good for future generations, but also teach them what the needs of animals are and the importance of their conservation. Despite the fact that animals are not free as occurs in nature, the conditions of zoos are changing. New knowledge and technological advances make it possible to conserve species and animals that are threatened in their natural environment. Zoos are places where scientists can carry out studies on ecosystems, favoring conservation and granting the obtaining of new techniques and medicines to take care of the animal health. Thank you.
Thank you, Anita. Now, Rochi, the last speaker of the opposition, is going to talk. In your opinion, are zoos good for animals? To our idea, we feel differently about zoos, but in our point of view, they are terrible for the animal's health. Like we stated before, there are a lot of different reasons why zoos are bad. Animals need to be in their natural habitat, and if they're not, they might present some abnormal behaviors, such as biting birds, twisting their necks, and shaking their heads. And most of the animals kept in zoos are taken care of by zookeepers, but if they're not, and if they're released into the wild, they probably die because they are not used to hunters. These are some of the very important reasons why zoos are not good for animals. For all these reasons, we believe that we will hurt animals if we keep them away from their natural habitat and take them into a small space. Thank you. Thank you, Rochi. And with that, we finish our debate.
Why homework shouldn't be an educational tool. The proposition, Toto and Peter, and the opposition, Sandy, Archie, and Tati.
Hi everyone, I'm going to tell you why homework shouldn't be an education tool. Well, to start with, homework takes too long. Well, the LA and File School District recommend everyone to work only 13 minutes on homework. Now, we all know any school follow this rule. In all schools, all students, middle school or high school, makes 1 or even 2 hours of homework per day. Well, if you have any sports, you play any sport, rugby, football, or you practice something, you won't have time for yourself because, well, no, you need to do to make the homework, so you cannot play or do all these sports. You need to do the homework, so well, you can't do anything. You can't make a sport or study any language. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Archie from the opposition will talk.
Hello everybody, how are you? Okay, today I will talk about why it's good to have homework. Okay, first I will start talking and doing my argument, and second will Tati say his argument. Okay, first I will say you. Maybe a lot of you play football. If you play football, you go and you train, but after in your house, you probably go and play with your parents in your house and you practice. Well, okay, like this you can be better. But if you go to school, you go and study in the school, and after that you don't practice in your house, you won't be as good as you can be if you do the homework. And the homework, you don't need to spend 3 hours doing the homework. With 1 hour that you are studying and doing the homework, okay, it's okay. So it's not that you don't have to do sports to do the homework. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now Bianchi from the proposition will talk.
Hello, my name is Pedro Bianchi, and I'm going to give you another reason why I think homework shouldn't be used as an educational tool. Okay, the OMS did a study that found that 30% of all the students that have stress have it because they have to do a lot of homework. So homework is indeed stressful for students. I think it is stressful for mainly 2 reasons. The first one, that when you do homework, you don't have anyone to help you with it. So let's say you have a doubt or you don't know how to do something, you can't ask anyone. So you start burning out your brain to try to find a solution, and you end up stressed and with no results. And the second reason is that it takes a lot of time. So this can affect your social skills, since you don't have time to go out with friends, to go to parties, to do activities. And it also can lead to affect your physical skills, since you don't have time to go to the gym, to do sports, to work out. So in conclusion, we can say that without an opportunity to socialize, relax, and connect with their support systems, students can go increasingly burnt out.
Thank you. Now the last speaker, Tati, will talk.
I know that homework is an educational tool because a study conducted by the University of People and Psychothema pointed out that out of 968 students, an analysis of variance was conducted, and after that, a multivariate analysis of variance was conducted to check the results. Out of the results of the study, it was pointed out that 4 student profiles were differentiated between each other. Now, out of the 4 student profiles, the student profiles that had the highest grades and reported to have the best time management were the 2 which had the most amount of homework handed out. In conclusion, I think that homework is an educational tool because of what RT said, which is that you need to practice at home, because it is a part of school, and because it teaches you time management and it gets you better grades.
Well, that's all. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, welcome. Today my classmates will be debating the motion technology creates more jobs than it eliminates. Each speaker will have 2 minutes and a half to give his or her speech. Our timekeeper will clap once after 30 seconds and twice after 2 minutes, so each speaker has 30 more seconds to round up his or her idea. Thank you for coming.
Hello, I am Juan Ignacio Otero, and now with my group we are going to talk about whether technology creates more jobs than it destroys. My group is formed by Felicitas Recondo, Benjamin Rey, and me, Juan Ignacio Otero. To start, we are the government. To start with, a lot of people think that technology is casting a shadow over the future. What does the future hold for us? Will there be mass unemployment? I have a really good phrase to answer this question. Where a candle is blown out, a lamp is turned on. This means that if a machine replaces one particular job, new jobs will be created. While some human professions are lost to machines, many other careers are created. In the United States, the presidential candidates were scared of this, and they plan to give $100 per month per citizen. This doesn't make sense. With technology, we evolve as a society. The arrival of technology in people's lives has generated multiple changes in all areas and professional fields in order to improve quality and work performance. Technology has not put jobs at risk. In fact, figures show that a small percentage of jobs could be at risk. Those jobs are jobs that are really dangerous and physical. And the machine can do it better. With advances in technology, the future holds us a better life for us with more longevity and with more comfortable jobs to make our life easier. To conclude, technology allowed us to do our jobs better.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sofia Barata, and I'm the first speaker of the opposition. Today we are going to defend the idea of the unemployment that technology causes. The COVID pandemic has accelerated the adoption of new technologies from contactless cashiers to welding drones. Automation is transforming rather than merely touching every aspect of life. The World Economic Forum concluded in a recent report that a new generation of machines could potentially replace a big proportion of existing human jobs. Currently, 30% of all tasks are done by machines, and people do the rest. However, by the year 2025, it is believed that the balance will change to a 50-50 combination of humans and machines. Robots will cause a serious job disruption, as the pandemic pushed companies to fast-track the deployment of new technologies to cut costs and be less reliant on real-life people. Concerns of new technologies causing job losses have been around for a long time. On one side, the argument is automation will create better new jobs and erase the need of physical labor. The problem is that people without the appropriate skills will be displaced and not have a home in the new environment. Technology can increase the profits of a company, but robots can also make some jobs easier to perform. If a job is easy, anyone can do it, and if anyone can do it, why pay some workers a premium? When the market demands fewer skills, workers with anything extra become less important. In conclusion, it is obvious that the pandemic helped this process of transformation and prevented people from having to work in a physical place. But now the situation has changed. If robots keep replacing humans, there is going to be too much employment, and there are plenty of studies to back this believing. Thank you for listening.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Felicita Recondo, and I'm the second speaker of the government. As my partner already said, I'm going to talk about how important and useful robots are for dangerous and risky tasks. To begin with, robots are not affected by the same things as humans. If a robot gets affected because of something, they can easily get reappeared. Where I want to go with this is that a robot can save a human's life. Imagine that a person has to go work into a mine which is in danger of collapsing. Instead of sending a human and risk their life, you can send a robot and nothing happens. So what we want to propose is that robots replace us in dangerous work so people don't put their life in at risk. Thank you for listening.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Santiago Linero, and as the second speaker of the opposition, I will try to convince you why technology is taking more jobs rather than creating new ones. Nowadays, workers fear that machines will take their jobs, but this is not something new. It all started in the first industrial revolution with the appearance of machines replacing hand jobs. It continue with the second industrial revolution, introducing electricity and mass production. Nowadays, we are in the middle of a wave of changes caused by digitalization, internet, and automation. And according to a study made by the World Economic Forum, more than 75 million jobs may be lost in the following 4 years. And as my partner Sofia Barata said, this automation process has been accelerated thanks to pandemic and COVID-19. This automation process will hit harder to low-class workers because their jobs, such as cashiers, delivery man, and waiter, for example, are in the list of the 15 more threatened jobs. And this will make the poor people be poorer and the rich people even richer. But we can all agree that humans are better than humans than, in the following aspects. Humans are more creative. They can ask questions and they can learn new methods of learning. While robots are programmed away and they work that way all their lives. The second one is that we can use our emotions to make the customer have a better experience, and we are capable of empathy with the customers and persuading them. In spite of these reasons, automation and digitalization are here to stay. So the solution to this is that workers shouldn't be afraid to losing their jobs, but they need to get a higher free education system so they can be retrained in new roles. Thank you for listening.
Hello, my name is Benjamin Rey, and I'm the third speaker of the government. I'll tell you two examples about technology creating more jobs than it takes to support the ideas that my partners just said. These two examples are from here, from Argentina, and the first one is from the automotive industry. As some of you may know, here in Pacheco we have a Volkswagen factory. This Volkswagen factory in recent times has passed through a really serious remodeling process where Volkswagen spent around $700 million into automatizing the factory. Most of you may think that if the goal of this remodeling was to automatize most part of the production, many jobs will be taken. No, because Volkswagen, after this remodeling, hired around 600 new people. So now, thanks to the machines, 600 more people have jobs. The second example, it's a company from our country, Mercado Libre. Mercado Libre is basically a fully automated company. Basically all the interactions that you can make with Mercado Libre are with IAs, or in the case of the storage places of Mercado Libre, they are handled by robots. But although Mercado Libre is really automated, it has around 30,000 employees. To conclude, yes, some jobs might be taken by technology, but the amount of jobs that are created because of technology, it's higher. So to advance, a little sacrifice has to be made.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Salon Palmer, and I am the first speaker of the opposition. As my peer said, robots have taken 30% of jobs around the world, and it's expected that by the year 2025 they will take 50% of jobs. So we will have to stop this accelerated growth. If not, we will have a lot of unemployment. So if we got more unemployment, we will got more poverty. However, robots can do a good job, but we also need jobs for people. That's why robots should be reduced or still like now in jobs area. Thank you, bro. Thank you for listening.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today my classmates will be debating the motion social media does more harm than good. Each speaker will have 2 minutes and a half to give his or her speech. Our timekeeper will clap once after 30 seconds and twice after 2 minutes, so each speaker has 30 more seconds to round up his or her idea. Thank you for coming.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sofia Bosch, and I am the first speaker from the government. This house believes that social media does more harm than good. Are you aware of the time? Are you aware of the time you use your phone per day? We are inviting you to grab your phones and see how many hours you use your phone per day. Well, actually, studies based on information from Argentina show that a normal teenager uses her or his phone 9 hours and 39 minutes per day. Isn't it shocking? We have 24 hours every day, and almost half of it is spent on social media. And it is interesting to know on what are we spending almost half of our days. Many of us do have TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, among others. But what we watch there is really increasing our knowledge. Do you think that social media is improving the quality of your life? Of course, it could be an enormous yes, but are we spending it in the correct way, or we only use it to disconnect ourselves from reality? Social media has many negative effects. We spend a lot of time being alone, we become aggressive and addicted to screens, we tend to end up comparing ourselves with other people, and we isolate ourselves from our family. To conclude, my teammates Lali and Gata will be developing these effects. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lorenzo Piccolo, and I'm going to talk about how social media helps people to communicate. To start with, I would like to say a positive fact about social media. The truth is that you can communicate and stay up to date with your family or friends around the world. Here, I brought some supporting facts about social media. The first one states that you can be sure if a person close to you is okay or not. For example, if you have a relative living on a country far away from where you are, thanks to social media, you can communicate faster instead of writing a letter. To continue, you don't have to travel where that person is to talk to her. My sister, for example, moved to London this year, and because of social media, I can talk to her every day, and I am aware of what he does and her achievements and all the things it happened. Also, think about the people that work from home office. Thanks to social media, they can work from home without any problem and in the most comfortable way possible. To conclude, I would like to say on an example that was near to us, the pandemic. It was a year that was crucial to humanity because we were 6 months in our houses. I think social media here played an essential role because without it, we wouldn't learn and community with others. And it would be a wasted year. Thank you for listening. And then my partner, Francisco Venti, is going to continue.
Okay, hello everybody. I'm Lali and I'm the second speaker from the government. I am going to talk about the fact that we spend a lot of time alone because of social media. As a result of this, we are unconsciously isolated from the people we care about. Studies based on adults and teenagers showed the impact technology had on the brain's behavior. Some of them were deterioration of emotional and social intelligence, technology addiction, and social isolation. And this one is what I want to talk about. Imagine your whole family came to your house to have dinner, but you were in your bedroom with your phone. What I'm trying to make you realize is that the problem is we're basically losing incredible moments with our friends or with our family because of being with our phones. Another big problem is that we tend to compare ourselves with other people. Sometimes we don't even know them. Lots of current problems teenagers do have nowadays is that they tend to compare themselves to different bodies, especially women. We tend to see what others have and what others don't have. When scrolling through social media, we find lots of friends, TikTokers, influencers, YouTubers, models, whomever you want, that make it seem that we won't be happy unless we don't have that body, that hair, that life, that dog, those type of friends, etc. This is where we create that fantasy of a perfect body or even of a perfect life that in reality does not exist. We end up making hundreds of futile attempts to reach that imaginary perfection. This creates a sense of hate and frustration towards ourselves. To conclude, Katerina Barber is going to continue talking about the fact that technology makes us addicted. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Francisco Yankee and I will be taking the place of Santiago Recondo, who is missing today. So, do you know what social media is? Social media are websites and applications that enable users to create and share content or to participate in social networking. Now I am going to mention two ways social media collaborates with the development of creativity. The first one is that social media gets one out of the box. Most of us have a daily routine which can eventually stifle our creativity. That's why it's important to be able to break out of it from time to time. And a great way to do this is by engaging with social media. Nothing is ever the same as the day before on this, and most people post whatever they feel like on that day. And the things that they show or post is more than enough to spark an idea, whether it's for an article, a caption, or even an ad. For example, you might be sipping on your morning cup of coffee when a cute video from the dodo catches your eye. Seeing this might spark something for you, and the next thing you know, you've created a masterpiece on social media that has gone viral. Secondly, social media can expose you to diverse perspectives. Social media allows us to connect with anyone from anywhere in the world, which means that platforms are likely to introduce you to new people with different cultures and beliefs. This can contribute towards an increase in creativity because of the exposure to perspectives from the outside world. Being innovative does require you to get out of your comfort zone and allows you to do research and ask questions. So use social media to your advantage and learn about things that you wouldn't come across in everyday surroundings. To conclude with, another good aspect of social media is that it increases your self-esteem. But first, self-esteem is the confidence in one's own worth or abilities. It's self-respect. Although it is often said that social media affects teenagers in a negative way, I personally think that the use of these platforms can actually help young people to feel better, and therefore develop a wholesome self-esteem. It's possible for children to use social media as this platform allows them to share interests or post about their favorite sports, celebrities, artists, and talents with a diverse group of like-minded individuals. This possibility of getting in touch with people who are fond of their same hobbies or interests is fearfully positive for children, and especially for teenagers. Thanks everyone.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Katerina Barber, the third speaker of the government, and I'm going to go further into what Lali said. The more we use social media, the more addicted to it we become. In fact, over 210 million people suffer from this addiction. If we consider there are 4.48 billion social media users in the world, that turns out to be a 4.69% of users who have this addiction. An average teenager spends around 3 hours per day scrolling through Instagram or other social medias, while a social media addict can spend over 9 hours daily. But what is truly a social media addiction? Social media addiction is a behavioral addiction characterized as being overly concerned about social media. driven by an uncontrollable urge to log onto or to use these platforms, and devoting so much time and effort to it, it gets to damage other important life areas, such as relationships or work. What about the aggression social media creates? A study published in the journal Science Advances by the Yale University has proven that online networks encourage us to express much more outrage over time. This is because those who express hatred and anger or criticize online get much more likes. Think about Twitter, for example. The polemic posts get much more attention than those who show happiness, love, or peace. The increased number of likes teach people to be angrier. Having said all this, how can we relate anger issues to social media addiction? Addicted people look for likes, approval, and acknowledgement, and showing this aggressiveness and hatred online gives them that. Little by little, they start to internalize this critical behavior and start applying it to their daily real lives. Finally, we're not trying to convince you into deleting your Instagram account or to living a cell phone free life. We're trying to make you conscious about the harm social media does without you even realizing it. And so you can be more careful around it and have a better lifestyle without depending on likes, shares, or virtual interactions. Thank you very much.
I'm Agustin Garrahan, and I'm going to give more arguments why social media is positive for our society. To begin with, a lot of people upload videos teaching a lot of videos, teaching a lot of practical skills that could help people to learn something new. For example, some months ago, I watched a video that the Municipalidad de Tigre uploaded to YouTube. In that video, they explain how a normal person that is not a doctor can save the life of another person. Isn't this one of the most important things that we can learn? In this video, they show you how to make CPR, cardiopulmonary resuscitation, for resuscitate someone who is not breathing by following the rhythm of a popular song called YMCA. Moreover, videos in social media can also help you in various ways, such as learning about technology or how to make different objects, or cooking or studying. An example of this maybe when I watch videos from a YouTuber that teaches math called Profe Alex, that more than once helped me understand the topics better and therefore pass my exam. In conclusion, social media in the last years has become an important tool for our day-to-day lives, because it helps us not only for communicating easily, but also for our creativity development, to expose us to a diversity of perspectives and to learn a lot of practical skills, as I just mentioned. Thank you so much for your attention.